Hi there, I'm Dr. Joylyn Maniaci, and welcome again to Fruity Tuesday Seeds for Thought. So, a lot of what I've learned about my life has actually come through sports. And it's funny that what actually sort of jogged my memory about this and putting things together is I was riding my bike home on the Greenbelt here in Boise yesterday, and there was a group of kids walking in the opposite direction. And one kid was looking, and he was just looking at his feet, just right down at his feet, and almost jumped out of his skin when he saw a bike coming, because he had to get to the other side of the path. And, it made his friends laugh. They had a great deal of fun at his expense. But, it made me think, a lot about sports. Because the first thing that came in my mind is like, the first thing they tell you in basketball when you're learning to dribble is keep your head up, your eyes forward. You can't look at the ball. It's actually easier to steal the basketball if you're staring right at the basketball, which seems sort of counterintuitive. Same with running. I love trail running. It's one of my favorite things to do is just be out in trees and running. But the commitment has to be to the next step. If you're committing to the one step that you're on, you're likely to hit hard, turn your ankle, but then you don't really know what's ahead for the next step. But if you commit to the next step, it keeps you moving in the direction that you'd like. So putting this all together, it seems like these are the lessons that we're all just supposed to have magically come up with as far as how to build a life that we'd like and create something that we enjoy having as far as future goes. But we're not really taught to be future oriented. It's all about being in the present and looking at the past to avoid mistakes, and somehow looking backward is supposed to get us into the future that we like. And it's sort of backwards, because if we're looking at our feet, and just saying this is where I am and I'm not super stoked about this and I don't like how I feel, we're not really going to move anywhere, and we're not going to create the forward movement that's actually going to be fun. Some people say, oh, you can't look too far into the future as far as you don't want to live in your dreams or whatever. And there's some truth in that, I suppose. But it's more about looking to a future that you'd like to have, because the joy is in the movement towards it. And when you're moving towards it and you know that you are, there's a confidence that comes from being in congruence with what it is that you'd like to create. And so today I'm inviting you to start being in congruence with the future that you'd like to have. So that would first take having to know what it is you'd like to have in your life. Knowing I'd like to have a family, I'd like to have this career, I'd like to complete this race, or whatever endeavor it is that you choose. And there will be more than one, because you're multidimensional and fun and dynamic, so there's going to be more than one. And then moving in that direction to where, if it is that I'm not even anywhere close, or I don't like how I feel, okay, but that's where I'd like to be. How do I move in that direction? And if you commit to the next step, I find that that's actually the easiest way for me to take rest. Sometimes it's hard for me to say, oh, it's an off day, I don't want to train today, or I should be doing more, I should have worked harder. But sometimes in order to commit to the next step, rest actually becomes a viable, valuable, necessary option, and it will help you to continue your forward movement with greater ease. And then sometimes it'll help you get out of procrastination when you know that there's something that you'd like to do that would really help you get on that way. And when you say, that's what I value and that's what I'd like the most, it makes moving through that so much easier, to where you don't have to use all this judgment and motivation and things to get you moving, because you already know you'd like to be there. So today is your invitation into your future that you'd like to create. Head up, eyes forward. Keep your eye on the ball. Whatever it is that's going to get you there, let's move in the direction that we'd like to be. You don't need to look at your feet, because you actually already know where you are. And then whatever's coming at you won't seem so overwhelming. You might even be able to sidestep stuff, so it doesn't even have to bother you ever. So I hope that helps. Those are my seeds for thought for today. I would love to hear what you think. So comment below, get on our Facebook, like us, write whatever you want. Let's start talking about our joys, start talking about the future that we'd like to create, and start inspiring ourselves and other with the greatness that we're actually going to be moving to. Also, just a little side note, if you got my newsletter yesterday, you know that The Goddess's Guide to Breakout is finally in print and it's published, and I would love for you to give it a read. So it's available on Kindle and Amazon and CreateSpace, so get your copy because there's actually some goodies in there for anyone who's looking to move into a greater future and maybe needing a breakup in order to move in that direction. So check it out. So that's it for today. I look forward to talking to you next week. And until then, happy Fruity Tuesday.